Hey everybody, this is just Jim and Tally, and I just wanted to go over a few news items with you that came out this week. The first is from the National Post. It's an article that basically deals with those gas plants down in Oakville, Mississauga, that our premier, Kathleen Wynne, has admitted that were closed for purely political reasons to help the Liberal Party of Ontario consolidate power down at Queen's Park. Well, Liberals have said that those gas plant closures will cost us around $230 million. Apparently now industry experts are coming out and saying that no, the actual figure is close to $828 million. And I'm not really surprised they lied about the number, but it still just almost makes me cry when I think about what could have been done with that money. We could have saved the ONTC. We wouldn't have to. They keep insisting that they don't have the money for it. They have to sell it off. But apparently almost they had over $800 million to blow on these friggin' gas plants. We have Gilles Bisson, the member of the NDP, calling on Ontario to create a stainless steel industry from the resources extracted from the Ring of Fire. We could have used this money. It's almost $1 billion to create a new industry up here, create jobs. But no, it went to Liberals' powers, went to consolidate Liberal power, healthcare, policing. No, no money for that. I'll use an example, Attawapskat. Hasn't been really well won by the band council, but still, you know what they really need up there? They need a permanent road. They need a permanent road year round. A lot of these northern communities do. They're cut off. The only way you can get supplies in is by air, or in the winter when the water's frozen. No, could have built a road. Would have done a lot of good, permanent year-round road. But no, partisan political purposes. We've had almost a year's worth of labor strife because the government couldn't find any money to pay their teachers. Well, guess where that money went? Yep, you guessed it, the gas plants. Moving on, there's an article in the North Bay Nugget. The big thing around here, one of the big things around here was the Algonquin land claim. There was an quote unquote information session. It really seemed more like it was designed to give the appearance of an open process, answering people's questions, rather than to actually be an open process and answer people's questions. Uh, Really, they had a couple booths set up. Uh, they were there at the Best Western for about 5 hours. The public was only given a chance to speak for about an hour. Our MPP Vic Fideli, he wasn't able to speak. Really, you got to ask yourself why they're rushing this through, and to do it on the March break when a lot of people are away on vacation. Uh, I'm sorry. I tend to sympathize towards First Nations land treaties. Something about this stinks. Thanks. Sorry, that was the tally there. Trying to dig into the chair. Trying to get my attention off episode. Anyway, this is really shady, in my view. Um, Basically, I think all parties, federal government, the provincial government, and the Algonquins need to come out, sit down with the public, an open forum. Our our local MPPs and our MPs, in the case of Nipissing Timiskaming, that's Vic Fideli and Jay Aspen, they need to be present and allowed to speak. The public, people whose property, who have concerns, should be allowed to speak. This needs to be dealt with openly. because, maybe I'm just making too much out of this, but like I said, the way they're going about this, some just don't feel right about it. I think it's basically until such time that they're willing to open up. I think every one of us, of the public, we need to oppose any deal with them until they open up. Moving on. The Sudbury Star had an article titled Education Key to Better Understanding, basically about the idle no more teach-ins, which I really don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem about learning First Nations history or teaching people on reserves First Nations history, with the caveat that let's make sure it's the real history, not any touchy-feely bullcrap. Let's not soften up what was going on here when European contact took place and before. Like other tribal societies, there was endemic warfare. We can't really say, like, the First Nations like to call these lands their traditional territories, but no one ever asks were they, how they got there, how they became traditional territories. Alright, a lot. I have no doubt that a few of them were the first people to settle there, but a good deal of them too acquired their land through war, conquest, and genocide. Let's not soften that. There was one group of people, I made a video about it, but take the Mississaugas. Kathleen Wynne keeps saying Toronto was on the traditional territory of the Mississaugas, the New Credit, when in fact, at the time of European contact, it was a Huron territory. They were pushed out by the Iroquois, who were then pushed out by the Mississaugas, who were there for about 50 years, and sold it to the British, and the territory of what is now Toronto became part of Canada at Confederation. So, let's not soften the history. Let's make sure that the history that's taught is the actual history of what went down, not any PC, the Indian, the First Nations were here living in harmony with nature. Nothing bad ever happened until the white man came. That wasn't true. If other tribal societies are anything to go on, there was war, there was conquest. Well, hell, look at the Anasazi in the American Southwest. A civilization that rose and fell before European conquest. And let me tell you, all signs indicate that its fall was quick and violent. Right. Moving on. Back to North Bay, our city council here is eyeing a patio smoking ban. Basically, you won't be able to smoke at any city properties, sports complexes, sidewalk, or restaurant patios, to which I say, piss off. And we don't need city council running our lives. I don't smoke. I don't agree with smoking. Anyone who smokes, I think they should quit, but we don't need city council telling us how to run our lives. Okay, if a restaurant owner or a bar owner wants to set aside an area outside so his customers who want to can go out there and smoke, that's their business. We don't need city council. City council shouldn't be hounding them. There's more important issues, okay? Work to save the ONTC. The provincial government is talking about consolidating North Bay Hydro into one giant regional utility center in Sudbury. Work on that. Don't worry about the frickin' smoke and deal with some damn real issues. Government has got to learn to back the hell off and just let us live our lives, okay? And, moving on, Mike Schreiner, the leader of the Ontario Green Party, had a suggestion on how to relieve congestion in the Greater Toronto area, the Toronto-Hamilton area, which is basically to charge congestion charges put up some toll booths and increase parking fees. Which I gotta say, I agree. Let Toronto deal with Toronto's problems. Let Toronto pay for Toronto's problems. Like, I have no problem with the province helping out municipalities where it's needed every now and then. But there's an extent. Just the way Toronto is, it's almost like cancer or a sinkhole. It just draws everything into it. It takes. But we gotta ask, what does it give back to the province? What are the numbers here? The politicians are all concerned about appeasing Toronto, even if that means looting and raping the rest of us. It can't go on. Like, Power of Toronto needs to be broken. There was actually on the agenda, John Evenson, an author of a recent book out, I forget the name, but he was talking about how power seems to be switching from the east, traditional Quebec, Ontario, west of Alberta, to which I say, good riddance. It can't happen fast enough. Like, Toronto's power needs to be broken, federally and provincially. Moving on again, there was no PP press release. It was in the news. I think it was an ex-Mountie down in Aurelia. They found he had a bunch of weapons hidden in his house. They charged him. The cops that arrested him were part of the Provincial Weapons Enforcement Unit. And just on the OPP press release, I just have a question. It said part of this Provincial Weapons Enforcement Unit was the United States Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, the ATF, the people who brought you Ruby Ridge and the siege at Waco, Texas. Now, I get the idea of having a liaison between one agency and the other, even cross-border, but what I want to know is, what is the extent of the ATF's involvement in Ontario? Is it just a liaison, or are they actually, or agents actually here enforcing law? So, actually, I'm not really happy about the liaison. I think the ATF needs to back the hell off. Like, what the hell are you doing in Ontario? Like, you've got enough crap to deal with in America. Let us deal with Ontario. In fact, in my view, and you can find a lot of Americans do, the ATF shouldn't even exist. Yes. But I'm going to try to follow this up on my blog, Guardians of the North, and see if we can get some answers. Wind power and solar power is in the news down near Kingston and Aurelia. A lot of people weren't happy with the wind farm, the solar farms going up, but apparently Thunder Bay is. Apparently a poll shows there's a 62% support among Thunder Bay residents for a wind park being built there by Horizon Wind Incorporated. Take with a grain of salt, the polling agency was hired by Horizon itself, but I'm all for it. I think we need to develop renewable energy, and the only way it's ever going to become viable, be it solar, wind, hydro, or geothermal, is if we put it to the test, actually put it in a real world situation. That said, I don't think we should hitch our horse to it just yet. If they're dead set on shutting down all these coal power plants, then we really need to look at opening a few more nuclear plants as a mid-term solution until we actually get to renewable energy. And just finishing this off, apparently Toronto's getting a casino, or looking at getting a casino. A lot of places are looking at getting a casino. Only Toronto's apparently getting a sweetheart deal. Globe and Mail has an article on that. And the important bit I want to talk about is the paragraph at the end. Quote, a casino executive said the hosting fee for Toronto is designed to improve the OLG's chances of getting the green light from City Council for the casino. So basically, either bribing the City Council. And I'm just about out of time here, so I'll leave it at that, but I will be coming back to this. Peace out, and have a good day.